onions chopped into the pan. 2 shots of Tabasco sauce, about an eighth of a cup. We'll call that an eighth of a cup of Worcester sauce. Then some butter. Scientifically, I don't know about that much. Quarter cup of butter. On the heat, I would say this is hard to say with this big stove like Legion, but about there. We're going to be about medium high to start. On we go. I have in a flipper. I'm using tongs, so we'll just get tongs and we'll just get this started. As it's heating up, I'm just taking this butter and I'm just moving it around the pan a little bit. So move some more onions, bring this piece of butter over, move some more onions, bring my pat of butter over. You can say, well, why don't you just put the onions or the butter in first and, boil it down or fry it down. I prefer it this way. We're just giving a little char to the onions. So some of those bottom onions is going to really bake in, give us flavor. So we're just going to keep moving that butter around. And by the time we make it around the pan once, here's my piece of butter is pretty much done. Now we're just going to sit here and keep stirring them around, bring from the top to the bottom. And as we're doing this, you can watch your onions start to fry out. In pretty quick hurry. If it gets too hot, just turn down the heat a bit. We've got it probably medium high. And you're going to get moisture off the onions too. That's going to come out of it as they sort of sweat, so I'll call it. And we'll keep on rolling. It's been on here for about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. So we'll just keep working it down a bit. We'll get back in a couple minutes. Okay, we'll reveal a little secret here. And that's that the fried onions we had last week, after we're done, we froze them. We froze what was left. And see, I've got a nice block of frozen onions that have already been fried up. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce this in the pan. We put about 1 cup of water. I don't want to quite make onion gravy, but and I'm going to put the onions on top, and I'm going to thaw last week's onions in here with a fair butter mix that's in there. And we're going to mix this in with the onions and watch what happens. So we're about 10 minutes into this with this frozen. You're going to be tempted to this frozen clump that we had from last week. Put it in the microwave, thaw it. Don't do that. Just get it in the pan, cover it with onions, because you're building flavor. You're building flavor from this onions, that profile, to this profile. It's giving you some that aren't quite as well done. And you can see it's just about now where that frozen chunk's just breaking into chunks, or into like smaller pieces. So just avoid thinking, well, I'll microwave or whatever. Just slowly turn down your heat if you want and let the onions meld themselves together. This is giving us a mixture of the stuff from last week, the stuff from this week. It's almost like a starter bread that keeps feeding itself. And the flavor profile is unbelievable. The smell right now is incredible. And so that's Worcester sauce, butter, and just a tiny bit of Tabasco, maybe two things. It's one of those flavor profiles when people are going, well, geez, I don't know what this ingredient is, and that's all it is. Butter, Worcester sauce, and just a little tiny bit of Tabasco. And here we are, now about 15 minutes in, and these onions are going to be perfect. You can see some not quite as well done as others, and we're going to cool this down. Now put it in the fridge, and then all we have to really do is heat it up some more. And when we heat it up, some of these onions are going to come down into a more browner mixture, so you get a mixture of really nice brown ones and some that are not quite as cooked. And put it in a pot, let them serve themselves, and it's amazing to watch what people think.